Black Feniks checking in. Right now, I am inside of the welding shop at HogOn University. That's what I'm calling it. So, I wanted to talk to you this morning about hustling alone because you have to hustle alone until other hustlers come to help. And I want to say it like that because sometimes the people that we want to reach out to help us do things, and we assume, we think that they maybe should do it naturally. Maybe you grew up with them, maybe the family, maybe they're your spouses, children, or whatever. Some people you expect things from, but I feel like we shouldn't have expectations on people. That we should allow people to be them, you know. But we tend to expect people to be a certain way, you know, and when we do that, I think it sets us up to get hurt, to get discouraged, to get angry, to get upset. And when I feel like the way to cure that problem or the way to avoid that situation is to just hustle along. Whatever you know it need to be done, just go do it. Just go do it. And if they're lazy, they even gonna watch you do it, or they're gonna cut the TV off, or they're gonna come out and help because they can't sit back and watch you do it and knowing that you watching them watch you do it. And some people don't care and they just keep watching you do it. And then when you get done and you get to the last end, they'll jump out there. Then let me get the last board. Oh, let me grab this little piece after you did all the work. I have seen that before, and I have told people that I have seen people do that even on the job site that tried to help me when it was almost done. And I said, hey, I got it now. Don't steal my glory. I almost knocked it out. Go on and let me tough this out and knock this out. That way I can go on and say, yeah, I did this by myself because I did it by myself. You know what I mean? So sometimes you will get in situations where those that are real, those who are hustling, they'll see your work, they'll see what you're doing, they'll see the work you're putting in, and they'll gravitate and say, hey, let me bring some resources. Let me bring some of my skills to the table too. Let me assist what you're doing to improve that, and then y'all can both sharpen one another because we know that iron sharpens iron. So I think that the way to keep from getting hurt, from dealing with family, friends, business partners, associates, or whatever, it's not set expectations, but it's to just do the work ourselves. Like if whatever need to be done, we need to jump in and just be hands on with it. Like you're just gonna have to do it. You know what I mean? And that way, those that you really want to attract in the circle is gonna be genuine because they see the work ethics. They know, those are real. We don't have to. What's understood don't have to be explained. We understand what you're doing. And if you're willing to make the sacrifice, because we know that only bosses are going to be willing to take risks, because it's risks, man. Building your brand, building your vision, making a way, because you're gonna have to take care of some other people beforehand, and those people might not fully understand. They just get there and say, "Yeah, thank you, appreciate it," and they gone, and you have to wait on the back end to get yours. You know what I mean? And hustlers, entrepreneurs, we understand the concept of that. We understand that we're just gonna have to jump in, family, just get our hands dirty. Sometimes we don't want to admit those things. We don't want to um, do certain things alone, especially when we feel we have certain people that should want to see us win or should want to see us do things. But sometimes, all the time, everybody else is going through something while you're going through something. So it ain't like you're the only one going through it. I like to offer incentives when I need some assistance. Hey, what can I give you? Okay, you need a little assistance. I need this hand. Can I give you this and this to motivate, to get some assistance because I know that's what it is, sometimes. And then sometimes it just, people got a lot on their plate and it's kind of hard for them to um, take their eyes or mind off of what they're doing if it's consuming them. You know what I mean? It's because everybody's different. So I just believe that we should just, if you're a hustler, just keep hustling, man. Keep knocking on doors. Keep doing what you have to do. Like, if you feel there's a certain things to be done, you reach out to those people. You make those calls. If you feel like, man, I got to have this, then forget it. You go put that different belt on. You put a different tool. be up on you, grab some different equipment. I mean, it is what it is. I think like we have to understand that we need to be a master of one trade and jack everything else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is what I do, but I can do this, this, and this, and this because I had to do this for myself. Or I was in a situation where, I was working for someone and they was doing this, and we had to do this all the time, and we could use that knowledge to grow what we got going on. So I feel like we just have to do it, man. Like whatever it is that you're trying to do, we have to do it. I appreciate that. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for checking in with me this rising. Actually, my goal is to just give awareness on things that I face. That's why, this is HogOn Welding is my business, but this is a personal blog. So I just put in, I show things that I do, and then I also just talk about real life because we face real life situations. And I think that if we be naive to those things, we're not going to grow like we really want to grow. And so I don't want to act like, oh, it's all about the money, it's all about wellness, all about this. But yeah, I'm a master at this, but we still people. And we need to know that, we're dealing with life sometimes, all the times that history repeats itself, and that if someone experience something 20 years, 30 years, 50 years older than you, it might be a different name, but that feeling, that situation that didn't change. You might call it something else than what they called it, but that was the same situation. You know what I'm saying? So you can learn a lot from someone who has actually already been through something. So a lot of times, especially the younger generation, they feel like they have to physically experience certain things in order to get that jewel out of it, and you don't. Like you can watch someone else stumble, fall, and do something in the left field that you say, hey, I'm not doing this because that happened to so and so. So I'm going to get, the wisdom from that situation. So, I just feel like, man, that we have to share realistic things. And so being a hustler, I have noticed just different things I have faced. Like, it's kind of like I want to call it the Job concept. You know what I mean? Because Job was a man who actually lost everything, and the people that he thought had his back turned the people he really really trusted on, that he thought would have rolled through, and they came by and they showed a little love and support, but they cast a lot of judgment. You know what I mean? Now it's different than someone saying, hey, man, I got apples on this tree. And you walking up and saying that it's literally, you can tell that this is a lemon tree. He's delusional. So you're not casting judgment, you're stating facts. You see what I'm saying? For someone to assume that certain things that happen to you because, oh, this must be happening to you because you might did this, or what about this? And you like, they don't fully know the situation. That's casting judgment. You know what I mean? So I feel like sometimes we would think that it'll be some ones that close to us, like his comrades, and his spouse at that time, even told him, man, you know what, maybe you should just curse God and die. So sometimes it's gonna be some hard things that'll be said from some people that are really really close to you, that can really discourage you, or it can motivate you to keep pushing. But it's going to be some rough stuff, and it's going to be from some people that's going to be close to you, and that's something that most people don't want to face. A lot of if you're fortunate to have some best friends from childhood and y'all still best friends, that's fortunate, because a lot of times people change, and you might have one or two that's still the same, and some people just completely go a a completely new way, and you have to respect that. So I feel like we shouldn't put expectations on people. We should just live what we expect. That's the great way to say it. Don't put expectations, but live what you expect. So if you expect a certain way, a certain thing, then you should do that yourself. You know what I mean? You should be willing to go that extra mile, or keep pushing, or get up early, or go to sleep early so you can be able to do what you need to do, or eat healthy so you can be able to make it to this, situation, or whatever you want to live, to be with your kids or enjoy your grandbabies. There's a initiative that's got to be took, family. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. It just sometimes, you can tell that some people really don't want to take the initiative, and that's why I say hustlers. When you hustle along, hustlers will come to help. Hustling to hustlers come, because there are people out here, there are good folks out here that see what you're doing, see what you're trying to do. And if you keep pushing and they see you putting your money in it, it's not going to be an issue for them to put their money in it, because they know you putting your money in it. You see what I'm saying? The old saying is, put your money where your mouth is, meaning you're talking about this and that. You're talking a good game. But I can tell that you're not investing in what you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's just, it can come from independent artists having, want to present you a song, and you can tell that it wasn't recorded in its best situation, and that recording now is affordable, where he could have put $100, $200 in that same song and took it to somebody and got it recorded professionally, but he didn't want to he felt like the song was tight enough. He didn't want to put no more into it. You know what I mean? So it's so many aspects to this, you know what I mean? To really knowing what to do and knowing how to do it and being consistent at it. Like, so that's why I say, once you get a vision and you focus on something, you just do what you got to do. And hustlers will show up. Like, those that need to be involved will get involved. Like, I'm not I'm not a religious person at all, but I'm very spiritual, and I do believe in God. And I do believe that when you're doing what you're supposed to do, God will align things for you. Like, things just will align out. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing how it works, though. You know what I mean? You know, you even think of old stories like this. David being a man after God's own heart, but he would send a man to the front line to get killed after having sex to his wife, and he was still labeled as a man after God's own heart. So he did some messed up stuff. He changed, he repent. He had to go through some stuff. And that's the crazy thing, because people think that, oh, yeah, he did this, but he had to lose a son. He had to grieve. So it was a life for a life. And the life that he took and the life that he lost was a little bit closer to him. And he did everything he could. Fasted, went without food, grieved, cried, trying to motivate God to change his mind from the message that he received from the prophet. So, sometimes I think that the different things that we learn through history, that we can apply those things to our life, like from reading and from looking at history, because history repeats itself in stories that really are relevant to this day. I seen a post from one of my guys from Alabama, posted at XL Flooring. He posted a meme saying that some of the music that Tupac released, even though he'd been dead for 20 years, is still irrelevant right now. You know what I mean? So some people can be before their time. Some people can be ahead of their time. Some people can be, meant to spark the minds of others. And I put up a meme today that said, have you been chosen? Because, when you have a hunger and a desire for something and it's strong, it's like someone has touched you and you've been awake. You're seeing something that a lot of people are not seeing. You know what I mean? Only those who are awoke too. And I get it now. I had to tell a guy that now that I'm 41, but I realized this around 37, 38. 38 is when I really realized this. And just to be honest, I realized at 38 years old that I was a planter. I plant seeds. Certain things are prepared, and it says that seeds fall on good ground, rocky ground, ground with thorns in it. Everybody producing their own ways. And then you have waterers, those who come back and water that same plant and take care of the full garden. Then you have those who come back and clean and purchase. So everybody have a different purpose. I just realized my purpose was to be a planner. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a planner. Like, I'm, I tend to move fast naturally. I do a lot. And it might seem like this is unreal. You know, some things that I do or post, sometimes I have people tell me, man, ain't no way you doing this or that, or you doing this. And, you know, that's just how I'm wired up. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I network. I mean, I'm really networking like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really on it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not a pretend thing with me. It can't be. You know what I mean? So, but I embrace who I am, and I know that my goal is to plant seeds, and I know that some is going to bring forth 30, 60, and 100-fold. You know what I mean? But that's not up to me, though. You know, it's not up to me to wake people up. Hey, get up, get up. Don't you see what's going on? Don't you see you need? That's not what I do. That's not me. You know what I mean? Some people want to be that. That's everybody got their own thing, but my thing is to plant the seed, keep it moving, and let the seed do what it do. Because I know that at the end, God controls the increase. I'm just a messenger. You know what I mean? And sometimes people will look at the messenger and judge the messenger, but you can. But the message isn't completely from him. He's been chosen to deliver this. So he's not he might not look like you might want him to look. It might not, he might do things that you might not like, or she might do things you might not like, but it doesn't mean that they're not chosen. It doesn't mean that they don't have a mission. You see what I'm saying? So I just don't judge when it comes to that, because that is when you can miss out on a good blessing, because you, instead of taking the message and say, "Oh, I can learn from this," or "Oh, I can embrace this in my life and do something better," you like, "Well, why do he got to see it? Well, who is he? Well, what is this?" You know, it's more of a negative approach before you give the seed any time to resonate. You know what I mean? So I just want to say, keep hustling this morning. For those who are hustling, keep hustling until hustlers come to help, because hustlers will come to help. You'll be surprised who will come and give you some water when you're thirsty, when you're working, who will feed you when you sit down under the tree and you take them, like, "Hey, let me do something." You'd be surprised who will come down and want to help out. So don't keep from hustling because you have no one beside you at the moment on the hustle with you, because you got this vision. You got, just do it, whatever it takes. Do what you can do to make it happen. Do what you can do to get your hold on life. Don't wait. Don't wait on hustlers to arrive. Hustle now. Do it now. Whatever you need to do it now. Put forth that effort now. So that way, when things start going, as the old saying goes, you don't have to get ready, because you stay ready. You always prepared to make something happen. So when you get that call of this move, make, you can, okay, let's go. Okay, what we need to do? You already ready. So I want to say that, man, just to motivate everyone to just keep that in mind, to not put great expectations on people. Yes, I know you love them. I love them too. You know, yes, I know you love, you know, your spouses, your kids, your family, your intermediate family, your out family, your friends, maybe some people you grew up with, you know, whatever the situation with, comrades, people you went to the service with, you know, you was in the foxhole with. But I think that it's unrealistic for us to have expectations on people, like, because it sets us up to just get hurt. It sets us up to take off our, it takes our focus off of pursuing the mission. So before I leave, I want to use the example of Jonah, because he was focusing on the people and not on the mission. And he was like, the people ain't gonna listen. Why you want me to go do this? Why you want me to change, waste my time? They not gonna do. They gonna do what they want to do. Well, God telling him, I want you to go do this, deliver this. I'm not gonna do it. He went another way, and the other way he went caused him to get swallowed by a whale, caused him to get into some circumstances where he had to, didn't know how it was gonna end. And so when he got out of that circumstance, it's like all of us do. You know how it be. You get in the bad. You know how people do. They getting out of a situation. They're quick to say, I never do that. I never drink again. Oh, I almost died. Oh, I never jump in that car. I'm never going to that club. You know what? I would never talk to this type of person again. You know what we say when we get in them situations. And then there we go. Here we go again. Mad. Went left field again. So I think we do that because we put our eyes on the people. And we don't focus on just delivering the message and let God do what he gonna do. See, he was a planner. But he got focused on worrying about the outcome. Sometimes you just got to plant the seed, keep it moving. Just do what's in your heart, do what God put on your heart and keep it moving. Everybody ain't gonna accept your message. That's true. Everybody ain't gonna jump up and hit you on the back and give you a high five. Some people gonna walk off like you ain't just, think of this. Some people gonna walk off like the 10 lepers did. 10 of them walked off, only one came back and said, hey, I appreciate it. But he even said, surely I knew it was 10. Why is it only one that returned? That's life. That's life, family. That's life. Like, you can give a lot. It doesn't mean that you're gonna get that same thing back in return from other people. But if you're looking at them, it's going to keep you from doing what you have to do. Like, it's going to keep you from focusing on what you should focus on, because you're worrying about the way that they're reacting or the way that they might take the message. Just give it and keep it moving, So sometimes you have to have a little tough skin when it comes to that, because you have to not be worried about that. I like to say, it might sound hard, but I like to think of it like this. When it's all said and done, you're going to lay in that grave by yourself. The people that you're worried about is not going to be there with you. You know what I mean? It's what it is. You're going to be by yourself. So why are you worried about them? Do what you got to do in this life. Get your hog on in this life. Live your life. Hustle. And those who need to be around you, that family that you're looking for, they're going to find you because they want to get their hog on with you. Hog on.